Hi there, welcome back to another Crypto Dave video. It's Friday, which means another crypto interest rates and news update. Today is the 1st of April 2022. And as always, we start by any rate changes and new coins. And I do have actually ApeCoin to add into the spreadsheet a little bit later today. I haven't done that yet, but I have updated all the current rates. And the beginning of a month, and I think this is probably the biggest update that we've actually kind of seen on a monthly kind of basis, in that I think essentially everybody here in this list, with the exception possibly of Nexo and Hodlnaut that updated relatively kind of recently within the last kind of month or so, have changed their rates. So BlockFi we mentioned last week, these are all now live in this spreadsheet, but the rates on BlockFi lowered pretty much kind of across the board for everything important. Crypto.com, they've lowered as well. Celsius, they've lowered. Ledn has announced its monthly rates, and they've lowered down to 5.25 on the first half of Bitcoin, 2% over that, and down to 8% on stablecoins there. And Yield.app has also reduced their rates down to 2.5% on Bitcoin for bronze users, and then silver, gold and diamond users you can get up to 7.5%, but this is with the bonuses paid in yield token as well, so 4, 5.5 and 7.5% combined with all the kind of like promotional kind of layers there. Still reasonable on stablecoins, particularly at the upper end of the tiers, similar to kind of Nexo, but yeah, a downward trend basically across the board here. Hodlnaut have not changed their rates, but they changed a couple of weeks ago, and Nexo obviously changed everything maybe a couple of months ago now, where they kind of like introduced the new kind of like tier system and stuff like that in their application. So yeah, a lot of rate changes, and unfortunately I think with the exception of a couple on crypto.com like Atom, I think eGold and Luna, I think unfortunately everything else has gone down. Moving over to the token price, you can see Bitcoin up 2.6% over the last 7 days, but up to about 12 hours ago it was trading substantially higher. We've been in this sort of like 47 to 48,000 kind of like range, as you can see here. Big move up and then that range, and then we've come back down. Now a lot of this potentially is because of this new EU parliamentary kind of like rule that passed yesterday. It's not coming into effect for another couple of years, so I'm not sure, maybe the market has maybe slightly over kind of like corrected if it is due to that, not due to come until 2024, so we've got a couple of years for that to be implemented, but essentially basically saying that you won't be able to deposit or withdraw to and from exchanges from non-KYC accounts, so personally held accounts and anything like that. So we'll see how the legislation develops as it moves through the kind of parliament, but yeah, a little bit of a kind of pullback over the last kind of like 12 hours, currently trading just shy of the 45,000 kind of mark. We were down a little bit lower than that earlier today, but it's had a little bit of a recovery over the last few hours. Now in comparison to that, the Chronos up 3.2% over the last 7 days, so broadly in line with Bitcoin. Nexo up 4.4%, so doing a little bit better. Celsius Network down 0.7%, so it's done a little bit worse than Bitcoin, but the standout poor performer, unfortunately, Yield.app down 8.9% over the last 7 days. And then moving on to some stories. Firstly, a new coin to report, which is Ape. This is going to be available on Nexo, and they have a promo rate of up to 12%. This is for the top kind of like tier earners, but up to 12%, and that's now available on the platform. I'll add this into the Google Sheet later, but you can buy, you can top up, you can earn, you can exchange, borrow against it, etc, etc, and the full rates and everything like that is in the article here. I will link this, as with all the articles, in the description below, so you can see the rates here according to the different tiers of user that they have. So interesting to see them add Ape. A lot of talk around Ape. Obviously Ape is the token that's tied into the Bored Ape Yacht Club kind of ecosystem, so they launched their own kind of like token, so interesting to see what they actually have planned for this in the future. And then another Ape related story over on crypto.com. So if you deposit Ape into the exchange, essentially you can get entered into this lucky draw and trading race. So there's 2 steps to this. The full information on the page here, and again this is linked in the description below. But essentially, if you deposit at least $1,000 from any external exchange or wallet, you get entered into a draw basically to get an autographed Serie A jersey, as well as there's these tickets for the Coppa Italia final, and then the top 100, I think is top 100 trading volume users with the greatest trading volume on the exchange will share a $20,000 prize pool. The full information is kind of here with all the intricacies and everything that you need to do in order to sign up for that. But interesting to see a couple of the platforms embracing Ape token. And then another story from Nexo. So this is actually really good news, I think. So this is similar in some ways to kind of Celsius. So Celsius have been playing around with sort of like the Polygon Matic ecosystem in terms of their DeFi product Celsius X, and also for depositing and withdrawing kind of crypto to get around basically the ludicrous fees which are still prevalent on Ethereum. Essentially, you will be able to deposit Matic as well as USDC, Tether, and DAI across the Polygon ecosystem. So basically they're launching a multi-chain bridge, so you can deposit via Polygon into the platform rather than having to use Ethereum, and then you can withdraw actually out to Ethereum. So this essentially basically makes it free for Nexo to carry out these transactions. The transaction costs are very low, so they're assimilating the cost for that. But essentially, it will not cost you anything to deposit or withdraw when you're using Polygon, so that's really nice. So all withdrawals on the Polygon network are free and will not count towards your monthly free withdrawal limits as well, so that's really nice to see. And once it's in the system, you can then withdraw out to Ethereum as well. So you can read all about it here. Nice time if you are playing around with Matic to maybe make use of that and actually deposit onto kind of Nexo. The rates are reasonable at the kind of moment, and if you want to use the Polygon Matic network that I do for a lot of my DeFi stuff, great time to start depositing onto Nexo with that. And then another story from Nexo. So they've got basically a buy and hodl crypto challenge. It's not really a crypto challenge, it's just more of a kind of promotion. But essentially, if you deposit at least $5,000 worth of Solana, Cardano, Matic, BNB, DOT, Luna, or AVAX into their platform, I think it's before the April the 17th, so between March the 17th and April the 17th, and then you hold those assets for 90 days, so that's 3 months, you will get rewarded up to $1,500 of Nexo tokens. And essentially, if you've got 5,000, you can either buy or deposit from an external wallet into it. So $5,000 will give you $150, 10,000 will give you 250, 25,000 will give you 600, and 100,000 or more will give you $1,500 in Nexo tokens in, as I said, in that kind of 3 month time share, providing you are happy to kind of hold from April the 17th through to July the 17th. All the information is here, including the rates you get on all those particular cryptocurrencies or tokens whilst you're kind of hodling. So some nice rates there. Lowest rate for 8%, rising up to 16% for Matic. So that's a nice little promotion if you were to move some of your stuff over to Nexo at the moment. And then finally, and we've been mentioning this a little bit recently, the Hodlnaut travel rule guide, but there was just a clarifying email which I got through, which was this one, essentially saying that with the latest update to the app and the website, the update only affects users withdrawing from their Hodlnaut account to a virtual asset service provider that supports Signup. Now, this is essentially very few and far between at the moment. So for the vast majority of people, it won't affect them at the moment. So nice to know that. But to learn more, please refer to the deposit and withdrawal guide. I've linked that here, and this is in the description below. But just for a little bit more clarity, and I'll bring you any updates as and when they kind of come. But at the moment, unless you're withdrawing to one of those platforms that support Signup, you don't need to kind of worry at the moment about deposits or withdrawals from Hodlnaut. So that's it for this week. A little bit of a depressing update in a way, I think, with the drop of rates across the board. I should also mention, actually, with the Ledn rate changes, they have actually lowered their crypto-backed loans at the same time. So as the rates for interest have come down, so have the kind of costs for borrowing from them. So they have been lowered a little bit. I think they're still relatively expensive compared to some of the other participants in the kind of ecosystem, but they are 50% loan to value. And I think some of the really good rates on platforms like Celsius and Nexo require maybe down at the 25% loan to value. So anyway, just to be aware of that, as the rates of interest have dropped across the board, you might find that you are able to get better rates if you are actually borrowing US dollars or US dollar stablecoins against your crypto. But thanks very much for watching. As always, hope you're all keeping safe and well. Give me a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. Hopefully I will see you on the next video, but until then, have a great day. Bye bye.